This is the solution video for section 6.4, problem number 6. All right, so the integral of e to the x plus 1 squared over e to the x dx. All right, so at an initial glance, you might think a u substitution works. But if you take the e to the x plus 1 as u, what is the derivative of that? Well, the derivative is e to the x dx. But you don't have e to the x dx. You actually have 1 over e to the x dx. So that doesn't work. So how do you do it? Well, you actually have to multiply the numerator out. So if I multiply the numerator out, I get e to the x plus 1 times e to the x plus 1. So that would be e to the x squared plus e to the x plus another e to the x. So that's 2e to the x plus 1. All of that divided by e to the x dx. All right, now, another important thing to remember is if I have e to the x squared, that's actually e to the x times e to the x, which is e to the 2x. So I can rewrite that as e to the 2x. All right, so now, okay, once again, I cannot use a u substitution. So now I'm going to split it up into 3 separate fractions. So e to the 2x over e to the x plus 2 e to the x over e to the x plus 1 over e to the x. Okay, now I'm going to integrate each of these separately with respect to x. All right, so the first one, e to the 2x over e to the x. Well, remember, here I would just subtract the power, so that's e to the 2x minus x. So that's just e to the x. All right, so I'm going to integrate that. That's easy. Plus 2, well, e to the x over e to the x is 1, so I'm just going to integrate 2 with respect to x. And then plus, now how do I deal with this? 1 over e to the x. That's actually e to the negative x with respect to x. And so now I'm going to have to integrate that. All right, so the first one, integral of e to the x is e to the x. That's easy. Plus, integral of dx is just x. That's easy. Plus, now, how do I integrate e to the negative x? I actually need a u substitution. U equals negative x. So du equals negative dx. So that means I need a negative 1 on the inside and a negative 1 on the outside. So I have a negative 1 integral of e to the u du. All right, and so now I have e to the x plus 2x minus 1 integral of e to the u. So that's e to the u, but u is negative x, so e to the negative x. And then, of course, plus c.